we got the market open. It's a 1% cut straight up. 0.8%, 25,590 is where the Nifty is at. So it's not as bad as what the GIFT Nifty or the pre-open was indicating. It's 200 down though. The Nifty Bank is down about 1%, 52,400 on the Bank Nifty. You've got the Sensex, which is down about 700, 83,560. The IT Services Index is once again down about 0.6. You know, a complete flip-flop. Friday down sharply, Monday down sharply, Tuesday up sharply, and today it's down sharply once again. Look at the heat map on the Nifty. It's largely all down. Just about, 5 names on the Nifty up in the green, everything else starting down in the red. So we are starting, I think there was a bit of a swoon to the 20-day, but now we are above the 20-day moving average, which is about 25,500 or so. That's the 25,505 is the 20-day moving average. So we're trading above it for now. The Nifty Bank, 52,400. That is about 100 points below the 20-day on the Nifty Bank so far.
Yeah, so the day's low, just to revisit that level, was 25,451. From there, there's a decent sort of a recovery, but it's really moving all over the place right now. Let's talk about where the weakness is. The worst of it is seen in the auto names, Eicher Motors, M&M, and this is despite Eicher coming out with good numbers, by the way. Even Hero's numbers didn't look that bad, the monthly sales numbers, but the market's dealing with very different sort of sentiment at this point in time. Big cuts on M&M, Eicher, even Tata Consumer, Asian Paints. These stocks have not been spared. Obviously, there's a crude corollary impact as well on the stocks like Asian Paints. Tata Consumer is down, Lever is also down, Nestle. So if you thought FMCG could be a bit of a safe haven, it's not turning out to be that way, at least right now. Then you have the big boys, ICICI Bank, L&T, Reliance. They're not helping the Nifty's cause, at least as of now at all. All of these stocks are down over 1%. The only thing that's working is commodities to some extent. So metals are being bought. The dips on metals are being bought. Nigel mentioned the point on steel as well. So JSW Steel 2.5% up. There's some buying on Tata Steel as well. ONGC, like we pointed out in the pre-open, with the flare in oil, people are gravitating towards ONGC. Not so much on Oil India. Oil India is actually starting quite negative, down 1.5%. Speaking of the oil-related plays, let's pull up BPCL, IOCL, HPCL, down about 2-3%. But remember, the narrative has shifted very, very dramatically on oil marketing companies. And we'll get to that with our guest a little later. From talking about a windfall gain because oil prices crashed in September to now talking about geopolitics and a revival in oil prices. It's really moving all over for the likes of IOC and BPCL.
Well, that's right. Bazaar Style, that's a stock that's actually flying away in today's trading session. So I think they had put out an update out there. And, that stock, in fact, is up and about in today's trading session. Bazaar Style Retail, I think that's the new listing out there. So that one's higher. Suzlon, that's seen some profit taking. It's down close to around 3% as we speak. Geo Financial as well is a little bit lower. These are some of the top volume movers. You have Tata Motors as well, that's down close to around 2%. And big boy Reliance Industries. We've been making this point that it was underperforming a little bit, but as we speak, well, that stock as well, it's down below that 2,900 odd mark. That needs to be the swing factor, needs to find its form from a bullish perspective. So that's about that. One crucial point though, on the Nifty as well as the Nifty Bank, we started below the 20 DMA, but as we speak, both those two averages now, indices have moved above the averages. So that's good news as well. So just keep an eye out on that. And BSE Limited, clearly with these regulations that have come about, they stand to gain more than NSE. So after opening up with a cut of around 1.5%, the street is now penciling in that market share will start moving to BSE, and they are better paced in comparison to NSE. So explains why the stock is quickly up 4% from the low point of the day. Marico as well has started in the red. That's done a U-turn. That stock is up close to around 2% odd. So we're down, but I don't think we're out as of now. 20 DMA by the end of today. The bulls will like to see a close around that mark.
No, absolutely, and we'll see how it goes. But, what we were discussing earlier, right? BSC, that's now up 4%. Although I think the debate will continue, right? I mean, there is a lot of thinking what NSE will do. I mean, will NSE do something to, can it protect its share of the market on the option side? There is, of course, this thing between Nifty, Bank Nifty. Rajesh Baheti telling us that the hit will be much lesser if they choose the Nifty Bank. And they're allowed to do it. So that we'll see if that is the thing. But can they do something else? There was some talk whether, they can introduce fortnightly options. Well, guess what? It's not allowed. Only weeklies and monthlies. There was some talk that maybe they can stagger, the monthly expiries on various products, right? So but all of this will need to go back to the regulator, and they will need to come back and say, well, this is okay, that is not okay. So we'll have to see. And of course, I mean, the response of what BSE will do will determine how much share of the market and BSE you can gain. So for now, it's up about 4% higher at this stage. What else? You've got Angel One, which is the number one volume-led loser right now, but the cut is not much. Beg your pardon, it's Dabur. Dabur with a 5% cut is the number one volume-led loser. Number two is Angel One with a 2% cut. Varun Beverages is down about 2%. Hindus HPCL is down 4%, as Surbhi was saying earlier. IOC and BP perhaps should also be there. Nuvama is down 3%. So these wealth managers, right? That's the other one. So 6,300 on Nuvama. Edelweiss Limited is down about 4.5%, but it's seen a very sharp rally recently. KEC is down about 2.75%. 361, which is another wealth management firm, is down about 4% or so. There is Medi Assist, which is down about 3% or so as well. So there is a fair bit happening as far as overall markets are concerned. Market sort of advanced decline is slam dunk in favor of declines. So about 1,800, 1,900 stocks are down, and about 400 stocks are higher at this point in time.
I was just looking at BSE, Prashant. It's remarkable the way the market's now buying into it. And BSE, by the way, through all the volatility and all the chatter, is practically at the 52-week high. So I guess the whole expectation and hope that ultimately whatever happens, whatever contract the NSE chooses, from 4 they're down to 1. So that should kind of limit their gains and, be good for BSE in the longer term, right?
Incrementally, it is positive. I mean, think about it like this, right? I mean, most people do something every day on the NSE, right? Now, if they do something every day on the BSE, I mean, there is a bit of a network effect, right? You will start doing something in the cash side. You will start doing something somewhere else. So it's essentially familiarity and doing something on one exchange, which was NSE so far. Will that change habitually to the BSE? That's the question, which we don't have answers to, but I think...
But in terms of, I think, product offerings for the first time in I don't know how long, it's pretty much like a level playing field now, because you can't do more than one product per week, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, we'll have to track this one, probably invite the exchanges over as well and ask them, right? I mean, how they view this, if they want to really talk, and we're trying that. But for now, it's about 2.25% higher on the day for a BSE.